Hey now, it's your brother Marcus, Mr. Elements of Inspiration with another Element of Inspiration Brother Marcus podcast. Today, as always, I give you the best guests on this side of the globe. And today, I have a man that's in the building who really needs no introduction. He has very many hats. He is a bishop of a church. He is also a pastor, a preacher, a teacher, a lawyer, and a plethora of other great titles. And today we have none other than Mr. I don't even know what the title to put first before his name, but I'm just going to give you his name, Dorion Morgan, Bishop Dorion Morgan, Pastor Dorion Morgan, the lawyer Dorion Morgan, ESQ. He is with us today. Welcome to the show, Pastor Dorion Morgan. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much, man. It's just a pleasure and an honor to be invited to the show.
Oh, man, I'm glad you're here. I know that you are a busy man. You do a lot of work for community and all around the world. Yeah, that is definitely safe to say because it is a fact.
And there's so much to be done. Bottom line is I just want to make a difference. Make sure that this world is better.
All right. And you're doing it.
When I'm going, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't going nowhere. Because even when you're going on this side of the glory, you're still going to live eternally.
There you go.
So you'll never be gone. But I want to start off today. I do this with all the guests. And where were you born?
Born in Willingboro, New Jersey.
You were born in Willingboro, South Jersey.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there, man. And born in Willingboro, grew up in Burlington Township, born and raised Township High School, graduate. Then I went up to Trenton State College, which is now College of New Jersey. Stayed in this area and went to college, went to Rutgers Law School, Camden. And so I've just been in this South Jersey area the whole time.
Let me ask you this. What kind of, when you went to, what elementary school did you go to? I know that's like, a while back.
Elementary schools. Okay, there was Beverly Road School, Shedeker, Springside, Thomas O. Hopkins Middle School, Burlington Township High School.
Wow.
That was the way it rolled when I was there.
Oh, okay, good. Because I always like to ask the guests, because a lot of times people of your stature, you do a lot. You're all over, you're helping everybody. And a lot of times people don't understand that you're a regular person like everybody else. You get mad, you get upset, you went to school, whether you graduate or dropped out, you're a regular person. So I like to, allow the people to see the humanistic side of, the guests that we do have, because we don't bring anybody and everybody on here.
Understood.
They're, definitely prayerfully handpicked because their lives are inspirational and encouraging. And so now when was the first time that you, Pastor Dorion Morgan, realized that you are different than most of your peers? Not better than, but just different.
Different than most of my peers. Probably growing up, man. My whole life, I felt like the outcast, the black sheep. The one that was just a little different, trying to fit in, but often not fitting quite in. Right. But hey. Just keep on living, keep on pressing, keep on moving.
Yeah, and so your difference actually made the difference.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. And so now being into, because I'm not sure what came first. It's almost like saying what came first, chicken or the egg.
Right.
What came first? Did ministry come first to you naturally, or like being a lawyer kind of was something that came to you naturally? Like how did now that's a dynamic within itself.
Sure.
So what came first to you?
Well, I grew up in the church. So that was, that's born and bred. I was really into music. So singing and playing keyboards and organs and all that. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. Then in high school, freshman year, one of the teachers invited me to be a part of what they call mock trial.
Oh, okay.
Because he said, I argued a lot in his class.
Wow.
And he said, I need you to stay after school. I thought I got detention. He was like, no, not detention. I am the advisor of the mock trial team. Wow. And I love the way you argue. So I stayed. Mr. Vazzaco is his name. I remember that.
Wow.
And I stayed, and man, I loved it. So what it was is it's a team that competes against other schools and all that sort of thing. They give you a case. Some people are assigned as the attorneys. Some people are assigned as witnesses. Some people,
Yeah.
And I got assigned as the attorney, man, for 4 years. So I loved it. And I said, I want to be an attorney.
Wow.
But, messed around in school, in and out.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. Got off track a little bit, but then I said, you know what? I'm going to still go back and do paralegal. I was a paralegal for a few years.
Okay.
So that I can get, some credentials for law school.
Right.
And as soon as I came out of law school, man, I was ready.
Wow.
I was ready.
Wow.
And God said, now I want you to work for me. I've given you what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need you to give me what I want.
Wow.
So I graduated law school in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
I started my law practice in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And God had me start the church in 2004. Just 2 years later. So now I'm a new attorney. I'm a new pastor. It's all at the same time. God he has a sense of humor. but now, shucks, the law office has been around for 22 years and the church has been around for 20. So God is good.
Wow. Now, so this is what I want to get to, because I always like to ask about, how you grew up. You grew up with your mother and your father.
Mother and father, yep.
And I'm asking these questions for people that don't know you, because I know.
Deacon Norman Morgan and Deaconess Bertha Morgan.
Okay.
Second Baptist Church, Burlington, New Jersey.
Now let's talk about the queen of the pack. Yeah. Let's talk about your mother.
Yes.
What kind of mother was she? Was she strict? What kind of mom was she?
Mom ain't no joke. Mm-hmm. Mommy, listen, I saw a meme on social media that said something about thank God for a mean mom. And, growing up, you felt like she was mean.
Right.
But she was teaching us, respect. She was teaching us hard work, perseverance, always teaching us to praise and worship God. I mean, church was not an option.
Right.
If you was breathing and living, you was going to church.
You was going to church.
Yeah, man. So, all those sort of things. But now I look back and I'm like, man, Mom, thank you so much for loving us enough to keep us from going off the wrong track.
Yeah. Now, with your mother, now, the first time I was introduced to her was really through her music.
Yeah. She's a phenomenal singer and worshiper.
Yeah, she had a record out, and I was just like, who is this? Who is Miss Bertha Morgan?
Yeah.
And she was on a label in South Jersey, because you guys are really Jersey supportive.
Absolutely.
Like South Jersey people, like for real. Signed to a label then. And I was able to, I remember the first time I saw her, I was just kind of like, I know you. She probably thought I was a lunatic. I was like, you're Miss Bertha Morgan. And she just kind of looked at me. I was like, I have your CD. I know she probably thought I was crazy. But yeah, powerful singer. And you know what I'm going to talk about? I'm going to talk about your father.
Yeah.
Because as you get older, we start to resemble our parents. Sometimes when you're growing up, you don't look nothing like that.
Right.
But you look like your father to me.
Man, thank you so much.
You look just like your father to me. Just darker, but
Hey, I'm getting there. The older I get, the better I get then.
There you go.
Because if I can look like Dad, I'm be all right.
Yeah, you all right, man.
That's my dad. Is Norman Morgan, man. He's just, he must be 5'9.5", but to me he's like 8 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Just always, just a rock.
Yeah.
He was just solid. Just taught us how. I mean, he loved his family. He was a executive for Mobil Oil Corporation. Got up early in the morning every day, went out to work, did his thing, came home, took care of us, took care of the church. He was a deacon, often the chairman of the board and all this. So, I mean, he had a lot of meetings and stuff, but he would take us with him.
Yeah.
Because his thing was, even though I'm working, even though I'm doing church work, I'm always taking care of the family.
Yeah.
And so he made it such that we weren't resentful of how busy he was. He made us to be a part of what he was doing. So as a result, all me and all four of my sisters are loving Jesus and working for the Lord.
And I was going to ask you about, siblings.
So, yeah.
So you don't have any brothers?
I don't have any blood brothers, no. It's me and four sisters.
And it's funny because our lives are similar.
Yeah.
I grew up with four sisters as well.
Oh, wow.
I have no brothers.
Wow.
But where do you fall in line?
I fall in next to last. So I got three older and then one younger.
Okay, I'm smack dab in the middle.
You're in the middle, okay.
So now, which one of your sisters is the one that really keeps you in check?
Oh, man.
If not all of them.
Keeps me in check. Okay, so my oldest sister, Marla, keeps me in check.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one down was the one I could get in trouble with.
Oh, and who is that?
That's Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is this going out on the record?
Nah, Lynn is cool.
That's my girl. That's my sister, man.
I love Lynn. I love all of them.
We could roll together.
Yeah,
man.
And yeah, Lynn is like, she's crazy like me.
Yes, sir.
And then you have two other sisters.
Then Melisha is right over me, and then Melanie is right under.
All right. Now, all of you, of course, churchified. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many of your siblings are in church with you now?
Marla.
That go to your
That
church.
go to my church.
Yeah.
Marla and Melisha currently are at my church.
Okay.
And in fact, they've both been there 20 years with me.
Wow.
Lynn came in for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, for not a little while, probably about 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And then she's moved on. She's ministering at another church.
Yeah.
And then my little sister Melanie has lived in Orlando, so she's not a part of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she straight out of college, she got married and moved to Orlando.
Trying to be funny, girl. You know you're from South Jersey.
Yeah, right.
No, but one thing I know about the Morgan families, you guys are a close knit family.
Absolutely.
Regardless, forget what you heard of America. Yeah. They are a close family. Doesn't mean that y'all have to be in the same church to be close.
Right.
Your other two sisters, they the ones they keep you in check. So that's why they were brother. Yeah. Now that we know that you're a family man, with your siblings and your mother and father are very impressive people. Yeah. Very impressive people. Now, you are married.
Absolutely.
To the one and only.
29 and a half years.
Plus tax, carry the one.
Come on. To the same woman.
To the same woman.
Continually.
And that's your girlfriend.
No, still today, man.
And she's a very beautiful person.
Yeah.
Dr. Morgan, Dr. Joy Morgan.
Yes, sir.
And she has a lot of things going on.
Oh, my God. Yeah, man. She's rolling. And go to joymorgan.com.
Yeah.
Joy Morgan Ministries. Joy Morgan Motivate.
Wow.
She's got a whole bunch of things going on, man. It's just it's amazing.
And she also has you a part of something that she does, because she does a lot of motivational speaking and things of that nature. And she also works with helping authors.
Yeah, we have the My Joy Publishing Company.
And you're under that publishing company.
I'm in-house counsel.
There you go.
Yeah, we do it together.
Okay.
No doubt about that. In fact, everything we do, we're partners.
Right. But I know she takes the lead on some things,
yep.
and
because and then I take the lead on other
things.
That's
and
right.
So I want to talk about you being a published author. Can we get into that
Absolutely.
really quickly?
Absolutely.
So what inspired you to say, you know what, I need to pen this thought down. I need to share it with people. What happened when that came?
Well, again, started with her, with my wife. She wrote a book called Roadmap to Destiny.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
21-day trip to finding your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that became I want to call it a book club, and then all of a sudden it became a conference. So we've had, I guess, 9 years of the Roadmap to Destiny conference. During that time, she was like, you got a book in you. You got a book in you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Uh-huh.
So at first she said, let's write one together then. I said, let's do that. Hey, I'm down with that. So the first book I wrote was one that she and I wrote together. It's called Home Team.
Yeah, I remember that.
How to win on the marriage field.
Mm-hmm.
And so enjoyed writing that together. It just, if you need it, get it. Then all of a sudden I wrote a book that was more about my life and about encouraging other people. It's called Another Chance, How to Tap into God's Amazing Grace.
Wow.
Because my life is just the epitome of another chance. Messing up.
Oh, yeah.
Going down, having hard times, but God giving me another chance to tap into his amazing grace and turn it around. And now, man, I'm looking at my life, I'm 54 years old. There was times I didn't think I was going to live past 20 or so.
Wow.
I'm an attorney, man. There was years that I probably needed an attorney. I think God, glad I didn't get caught with everything.
I know, right? Yeah, man. Listen, we know.
I'm now on the board of trustees of the Rowan College of Burlington County. I'm on the board of trustees of a college. Well, in
prestigious college.
1990, I got kicked out of college. So,
imagine
my life is all just another chance, another chance, another chance. Wow. And if you tap into it, man, God is going to, where you are doesn't have to be where you stay.
Exactly.
And that's really my whole mantra in life is that don't allow your history to determine your destiny.
Don't allow your history to determine your destiny. That's what I'm talking about. This is the reason why I had to get you in here, because people need to know the authenticity of, Dorion Morgan.
Yeah.
Dorion Morgan. Now, let's talk about your name, Dorion.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
Man, I've been trying to find out for 54 years.
Ain't nobody going to tell you. Right?
In fact, let me see. Dad said he named me, I don't know where it came from. He said it wasn't somebody else. It was a name that he just really liked.
Yeah.
And so we started looking it up, and it's several different things. If you're a jazz artist, the Dorion is a it's a register. There's a certain jazz term that's called, that's a Dorion.
Oh, okay.
But then there's I don't know if it's French or there's another language that Dorion means gift from God.
Wow.
So I kind of hang on to that one. Like, you know what? That sounds good.
You know what? And that's funny because, your family is a musical family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of, go back a little bit. So we talk about, Dorion and music and what do you do better? Do you play any instruments? Let me just start there.
Yeah.
What do you play?
Do I play? I used to play piano and organ.
Now, why don't you play today?
Man, listen, when I started pastoring, this is 20 years ago, I played still, Then we had other musicians coming in. And them young cats, they ain't no joke. They retired the old man. I can't even hear the stuff they play. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
But you can still play, but you just
I play most often just for myself.
Okay, got it.
There's Mama. When Mama's singing, she's like, I want you to play for me.
And you be like, Mom, we got these other guys.
Please, we got these great guys. She's like, no, I want you. So Mom can always pull me out of retirement.
Yeah.
And then there's some old family and friends that, unfortunately, if there's a funeral or something.
Oh, yeah,
they come on, please, So
you come out there and do that.
Then I come out. But most often, you can't. I try to leave it to the professionals.
Let me tell you, speaking of professionals, you're a professional singer. The first time I actually met you, I'm trying to remember how we actually met, because it's hard, when you're in the gospel circuit, you run into people. But I happened to meet you somewhere, and I was blown away by what you were doing. You had an integrity music artist. You were doing a music seminar, and I'm trying to remember this man's name, but he was a very popular artist. He had a very big song, and you were doing a music seminar in South Jersey. And that's the first time I actually heard you sing.
Oh, wow.
And you guys allowed me to be a part of this community choir.
Sure.
And
we've done that a couple times. So
yeah.
that was either Stephen Hurd. Was it Steve Hurd?
Stephen Hurd.
Yeah.
And that was powerful. That's when I was really introduced to the ministry of Dorion Morgan. Okay. And that's all. I was just I was fanned out, and still am today. I have a lot of respect for you,
wow.
Your whole entire camp. And I mean, the whole entire camp,
that's
the ministry.
Time ago, man. That's got to be like 05, 06.
Yeah, it was probably right, when you said, around the time you started, maybe a little bit. And so I was just kind of in awe of what you do. And that's when I was introduced. And ever since then, I've always tried to stay connected to you. I always try to, be right on the sideline, just watching, because I'm saying that guy right there is something. Wow. And not only are you a powerful preacher, you sing, and your singing is just as powerful as your preaching. Your praise and worship is ridiculous.
Wow.
And I just wanted to, tell you that to your face.
Man, I appreciate that.
And, so to me, it's kind of like, how do you manage being a recording artist and being a pastor, being a lawyer, and being a husband, and preacher, pastor? How do you do it?
Man, it's the grace of God. I'm gonna start there. It's the grace of God. But I think once I was able to put things into proper perspective and prioritize, I think God really blossomed. So first thing, I'm a husband first.
Right.
I'm a husband first. So therefore, when I really realized that, because when we got married, I was busy already. I was into music and doing all the different things. But then spending, 3-4 nights at rehearsal, and then Friday night you got a concert, Saturday you're somewhere, Sunday you're somewhere, and your wife is like, "Where are you? What's going on?"
Yeah.
I learned up early that bringing her to rehearsal is not a date. I'm like, I thought we were spending time together. She's like, that's not time. So once I learned that my wife really should be first, man, things started to blossom, because then she was my partner when we started South Jersey Mass Choir. I was the president, she was vice president, and she's just gifted with with administration. So where I had the music part, she could pull the people together. She could make things, so that the recordings would come off. And from that, we started a marriage ministry. We've done some things together. So much of my development and journey has been because of or through my marriage. And even we started the church together.
He that findeth a wife.
Man finds a good thing.
And she's definitely a good thing.
And obtains favor from the Lord.
Yeah.
And I know no doubt about that God looked at me and said, it is not good for you to be alone.
not you.
Not me.
And it wasn't good for her to be alone either. She's a very beautiful person, period.
He made a perfect helpmeet for me, man.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
I'm so happy when I do see you guys together.
Sure.
And what I like about the both of you is she holds no punches. She says what she means and means what she says through prayer. Yeah. And you're the same way. You know what I mean? I'm not sure who's the toughest one, either you or her. I don't know.
My members say she's a little tougher than me.
Oh yeah, because you're just
they call me the mercy seat.
But she tells it like it is, you know. Man. And I'm so glad, this ministry is powerful, and God has taken you guys to different places and different locations, and He strategically placed you wherever the ministry is supposed to go and move. Okay. And that's what I like about you guys. You don't sit in one place. That's not where you grow. You move. Yeah. You know what I mean? You uproot. You go here. You go there for a season. Yeah. And that's what I like about your ministry. Your ministry is so powerful that it has pulled a lot of people to it. Yeah. Yeah. And then it has pushed a lot of people out.
Absolutely.
To do greater. Oh, I have family members that go to your church. They were at another church for many years, and I thought that they would never go. Not that I wanted them to go, but for your ministry to come and do what it does. And you're not here to steal members. That's one thing I know about you. You're like, look, man, go somewhere where they teach the word, where they preach the word, and be faithful in your giving. Yeah. And that's the basis of being blessed. Well, you got to be saved. Yeah. And so they came over to you guys, and I'm just like, wow. Wow. You guys are, y'all shaking up the ground.
Man, they've been with us, I don't know, almost 10 years now.
It's a lot of years. I can't even remember.
A lot of years,
A lot of years,
so
man.
Thank God for them and their contribution. In fact, brother-in-law just became one of my ministers at the church.
You guys ain't playing over there, man.
We trying to do this. Just trying to make God happy first.
Of course.
But then trying to change the world, man. One community, one person at a time, one family. You know what I'm saying? There's just so much to be done. But if you do it in love and really, really mean it, people receive that. You know what I'm saying? And our church is not just called Restoration Station. It is a restoration station.
Amen.
You come and you be restored. But here's what the crazy part. People are like, what's station? I don't know why God gave us that name. But I do see now after 20 years, it's a station in that you come, let's say if it's a gas station, you come and get filled up.
There you go.
And then you go. You get what you need so that you can go where you need to go. Some people, it's a train station. You come here trying to find out where's my next location. And we had to become okay with that. We're not like the old school church where I got to keep you for 3 and 4 and 8 generations and you can't never go nowhere. No, come through, get what you need, become what you're supposed to be. And then if God wants you to stay here, because some folk got to work at the station. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, if that's what God called you, we loved you to stay. But if it's time for you to go, man, we bless you on the way out too, man.
And that's just powerful about, again, your ministry and how you guys are just so authentic and people friendly. And let's talk about being community friendly. I have shown up to various events and it's always about community. Yeah. Like the holiday season. Like I remember every year. And if you don't do it this year, I would definitely understand because you are traveling the world. We'll get into that in a minute. And you got to take a break sometimes from things. Not that you're taking a break from ministry and helping people, but you've planted seed where you guys would have these extravagant holiday Christmas giveaways to the children. Yeah. Like how do you guys do it? It's so awesome.
Man, our mission at the church, we got a threefold mission. One is to restore believers through praise and worship and the word of God. Restore unbelievers to God through evangelism and discipleship, but to restore the community through outreach and evangelism. So no matter what, no matter where we go, where we move to, we always have to do some things for the community. One of our biggest things, as you just mentioned, is our Christmas extravaganza. We've had it for about 18 years.
Wow.
We also do the back to school bash we were doing for a long time, giving out backpacks, and we would give haircuts for boys and hairdos for girls and all that. Just right now we have our mentorship program, the Young Men of Destiny mentorship program, and the Future Leaders of Girls, a Future Leaders Institute for Girls, Fly Girls. But community is something we've been called to, man. That's so we can't stop doing that. And as you mentioned, this year it's funny. We'll talk about the churches moving. So we've been leasing for years. God told us time to go out and possess the land. So right now we went into a school to save some money and look for our new location. So we decided while we're saving money, maybe we won't do, as much for the Christmas thing.
Right.
We started getting calls from other churches saying, listen, we got extra stuff. Can we give it to you? Because we know you always do things. And we know that it's going to go to good people. Man, we got more stuff this year, not even trying.
Wow.
Than
you did
some of those years when we were trying, man. The Bible says if you give, it shall be given unto you.
Oh, yes.
Pressed down, shaking together, and running over. So now people are giving to us just because they know that we are a giving church. And we're still going to have our big Christmas giveaway on what is that Sunday? The third is right before Christmas. The fourth Sunday right before Christmas. So we're excited about that. And we can't stop giving.
And it's funny, even when you want to stop giving with understanding because of the transition.
We said we're going to take a break.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, because I know that God is, the restoration station is a station, y'all moving, y'all got a lot going on. And even when you want to take a break, the community saying, please, and I consider you guys to be like a popular brand.
Wow.
More than a popular brand, a brand that is etched in South Jersey history. When you go to the store and you look at different, sodas,
Sure.
you go and you see 7-Up or Pepsi, you see all these brands. You guys are a brand.
Wow.
And people trust the brand.
Praise the Lord.
Other people are doing what you're doing. And again, we're not knocking anybody. This is, me just talking. They feel comfortable that they can come to the brand of Restoration Station, which is connected to God, of course. And they know that if they come to Restoration Station, they're going to get quality gifts. Yeah. They're going to get good love, period. No doubt. You're going to get the Word of God. You're going to get entertainment. It's going to be a lot of, when I say entertainment, things for the children. Because we definitely got to be able to touch the children. But you guys are able to touch every generation. And that's why people, I know, are drawn to you guys. And even when you don't want to do, you can't. Because you're required. It's almost like a requirement, a healthy, supernatural, spiritual requirement, like
exactly.
Pastor Dorion Morgan,
you
Dr.
can't
Morgan.
Not.
Yeah, you guys, even if you guys are just not doing anything but showing up, people know that they're going to feel safe and secure, and they don't have to worry about anything. So I'm excited about that. Now, this is the other thing that I really want to talk about is when we talk about reaching the community. You reach more than just the community. You guys step outside of the state of New Jersey. Yeah. Let's talk ministry and missions.
Sure.
Now, what's that all about? What does Restoration Station do abroad?
Well, God told us that Jesus said in Acts 1:8, he said, listen, when you get the Holy Spirit, you should be a great witness of me, both in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the earth. So we've taken that to say, you know what, Jerusalem is home. Hopefully, if you're a Christian, you're showing God's love at home. Judea is the community that you're in. You need to take care of your community. Samaria was the other side of the tracks, where you didn't normally go. You need to look for opportunities in strange places to go be a blessing. And then the uttermost parts of the earth. He said, you need to get out of your region, your country, your nation, and go affect the world for the kingdom. So we do that. And I guess about 4 years ago, he really told me it's time to go global. Yeah. So I started a ministry called DBM Global that partners with the church.
Right.
And so now I cover churches. One in Ghana, we just got back from 2 days ago. We started in Pakistan.
Wow.
And then several ministries that we cover over in India.
Wow.
So, God has been good, man, to allow us to do that. That's when my bishop said, man, you're doing all this bishop work. It's time for me to, lay hands on you and consecrate you a bishop. So in 2022, I was consecrated a bishop in the Lord's church. So.
Wow, praise. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is another reason why I respect the ministry of, Dorion Morgan, Dr. Dorion Morgan, Restoration Station, and all of its affiliates. India.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
And, Ghana.
Ghana.
What was the first place that you actually went to, like in terms of ministry? Because I know that you have opportunity to travel.
Sure.
We'll talk about that in a moment. But what was the first place that you said, we got to go here first, or God said, this is where we're going?
Man, trying to think where we went first. Truth is, we probably went to Bermuda first
to do ministry.
To do ministry there. We've been to St. Thomas to do some ministry.
Wow.
Then we were obviously throughout the United States and up and down the East Coast, man. But Bermuda was the first country that really had our heart for ministry.
Yeah.
And then I went to Togo, Africa last year.
Now, what was that like? Can we hang out there for just a minute?
Sure.
What was that like for you to go to Togo, Africa?
Man, that was crazy, man. It was crazy to go to the motherland. That was my first time.
How long is the flight? How long is the flight?
So there's 3 legs. There was 2 legs. First leg is 8 hours. I flew into Morocco, Casablanca, Morocco.
Wow.
And then the second leg is another 5 hours down to Togo, which is actually right next to Ghana.
Wow.
So, it was funny. While I was there, I'm like, man, one day I want to go to Ghana. and the pastor that I had been working with was like, you would really come here? I'm like, yeah, man. So we set some things up because we had already been helping him build his church. And he said, I really want you to be here at the church. I want you to anoint it. I got some ministers that we've been dealing with. So we installed 13 of his ministers last week.
Wow.
And helped him celebrate his 2nd anniversary, man. So it was good there.
In Ghana.
Now,
what was that like? Like coming into Ghana, how was the flight the same way? Like you had to take several flights?
So the first one, we left out of JFK, went to Morocco, spent a day there and did some sightseeing and stuff in Morocco, and then went down to Ghana, to Accra is the capital of Ghana. Okay. So you fly into Accra, and we took a 7-hour bus.
Oh, man.
Down to Kumasi, which is where we were going, Kumasi. That was no joke. Man, you start to say, we take a lot of stuff for granted, man. Yeah. I mean, first of all, the highway, you call it highway. It was a 2-lane, road. And then several spots, several miles and hours were not paved, dude. We're on dirt roads, man. Man. Between the cities, Now, praise the Lord, when you get to the next city, it is, it is a city.
Looks modern and everything. Yeah. What kind of we're Americanized used to.
Yeah.
So now, it's like, because a lot of people will never be able to do what you've done, and because if God doesn't call them to do it,
sure.
or travel the way that you travel. Now I know that ministry is the focal point of who you are as a person.
Yeah,
it's what you do. You live it, you breathe by it, and everything else. Being a lawyer, let's talk about that. I know in school, you went to college and all that great stuff.
Sure.
How was it for you when you first became a lawyer? Did you feel like, all right, I'm in, or oh man, what did I do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, so I wanted to be an attorney since I was in high school, and I wanted to be rich. I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to be rich and I wanted to argue. That was what I wanted to do. Then Johnny Cochran came on the scene. Everybody wanted to be Johnny Cochran. If it don't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But then, man, when I became an attorney, and from being a paralegal, I started to see the workings of like large firm versus small firm. I worked at Burlington County Prosecutor's Office for a while, so I learned some of the governmental side of things. So, and then, man, I guess my last year of law school, I really did think I was going to go to one of those big firms and make some money, man. They had offered me $105,000 a year, and that was back in 2000 and
it's like 20 years ago.
Like, so I was like, yes, and God said no. Man, I heard loud and clear. God said, I want you to be available to me, because one thing that I did see, when you become an attorney at a big firm, you're there 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
I mean, 60, 70, 80 hours a week minimum. You have no time for anything else.
And you were you married at that time?
I was married. I was married.
Wow.
Yeah. So in fact, I got married in 95. I didn't go to law school until 97.
Okay.
So in fact, we got married. She went. I supported her when she went to get her master's degree at Rutgers up in New Brunswick. And then she said, "Okay, now got mine. It's your turn. Get your law degree." So
I like Dr. Morgan. She is so cool.
She's good, man. She's good. She's good. So then, when I became an attorney, now she's good, but she wasn't happy.
Oh,
because she was waiting for that big money too. After all of the sacrifices that we had made.
Yeah.
But then when I told her, God said, man, she was like, we got to do what God says.
Yeah.
Started my own law office, man. And, a lot of people say, you can't start your own law office. You don't know nothing about it. You're new. You're this. I said, listen, all I know is what God told me.
Exactly.
And so when I became an attorney, I put my shingle up and let people know I'm here to help you.
There you
because
go.
That's really, as you say, ministry isn't just what I do. It's who I am, helping. God called me to help people.
Yeah.
And so my law firm is really all about, how can I help you? How can I help you? And if there's areas that I don't cover, God has given me a great network of attorneys to refer you to people that I trust that will also help you get done whatever you need to get done.
And that's another thing about you. You're an honest attorney. And I'm not knocking any other attorneys. I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way. But knowing you personally, you're an honest person. If
I lose money that way,
but you know what? But you know what? You got to do what God says.
God has covered me.
Yeah,
He's taking care of me.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen you. Give referrals and say, listen, it would be better if you go to that person.
Absolutely.
Not that you don't have the skill or the ability, but sometimes it's kind of like a conflict of interest or something. You're like, you know what? Let that person over there help you.
It's not all about the money.
It's not all about the money. When we're younger, it's different. I mean, when you're younger, we have the right to say, I want to be rich and I like to argue, and those things are great. But as you get older, and you have a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
And I think you get a lot of that from, both of your parents, just from being around them,
Absolutely.
I know your mother more than I know your father in terms of, talking with her. And so you come from a good stock, good people. So now I need to ask you this. So what does, the lawyer, the doctor, the preacher, the husband, Dorion Morgan, do to get away from it all? What do you do to decompress?
I do just that. I get away from it all. Man, I love to travel. Man, I love to travel. I love to see different places. I love to be in a different, climate. I love, so my wife and I, man, years ago we decided, every year we have to travel every year. So in the beginning, we ain't no money. So we get ready for one trip a year, And then after a while, we're like, I wonder if we could do 2 trips a year. At one point I said, babe, I want to do quarterly. I want to, get out there. So we started doing that. Now, man, I'm like, shucks, every 6 weeks, 6 to 8.
You got to.
If it's 2 weeks, 2 months, I'm starting to get antsy. I'm like, we got to get somewhere.
No, but that's good because, like a person of your stature and your ability and skills, I know a lot goes on when you're dealing with people's personal problems in the legal field, as well as in the church. People come with their burdens and their issues. All of us. I've come to you, hey man, I'm going through, and you're like, listen, bro, you know what I mean?
Let's
and
talk.
you talk, we pray,
Sure.
and but how do I'm glad that you do take vacations because a lot of people feel that pastors need to be there, they need to be doing everything, they need to be. And what's your view on ministry in terms of that?
Yeah. So Restoration Station is set up. We have phenomenal leaders, phenomenal. Dr. Sam Chand, we went to a conference many, many years ago, pastor's conference. In fact, we still go to conferences because I really want to be the best pastor possible. I don't want anyone to come to our church and say, man, he just didn't know what he was doing, wasn't good. So we go and learn. And Dr. Sam Chan said, listen, most people, most pastors spend so much time on the people themselves, and they don't pour into leaders, so that people start to become dependent on you, the pastor. And we're big into this, I don't want to call it celebrity, kind of position. He said, but really, those who are most effective, they pour more time into their leaders than to the regular people. Why? Because now, as Jesus did, Jesus could have did his own thing.
Exactly.
But the very first thing he did when he came out of the wilderness, he started building a team.
Yeah.
He said, because y'all can go so many more places than I can. So I'm going to train you. I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to preach the kingdom. I'm going to heal the sick, and I'm going to deliver, and I'm going to, deliver from demons. And all of a sudden, he said, okay, 12, now you go and do that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he found, the Bible says, another 70. And he taught them 2 by 2. Y'all go out everywhere where I'm going to go. That's also a marketing strategy. But that's,
I know.
Listen, people don't realize Jesus was big into marketing. He said, you know what? I want you to go out 2 by 2 to every place that I'm going to go. And I want you to show them the things that I'm going to show them. Preach the kingdom, heal the sick, and deliver from demons, cast out demons. And that's what they did. So the model is you can get more done if you pour into your leaders. People say, oh, Jesus fed 5,000. Jesus didn't feed 5,000. He told them, sit down in groups of 50. And who fed the 5,000? Those 12.
Exactly.
They got it. So if Jesus would have had to go hand 5,000 out by himself, it would take a whole lot longer than if he let those 12 go out there and do it.
Absolutely.
So my life, people say, how do you do all the things you do? The truth is, my leaders are phenomenal. They do a lot of the taking care of people, the showing up. I do hospital visits every now and then. I do this, that, and the other. But the truth of the matter is, if I can't be everywhere, I don't want your care to be determined by whether I can be there or not.
Wow.
Here's what I know. I can get somebody to you. And their prayer is going to be just as powerful as mine. Their love is going to be just as strong as mine. And you're going to have the same impact with the kingdom as if I was there.
Wow. This is the reason why we had to bring you, because a lot of things had to get set straight. That you guys don't operate like the one-man band type of thing.
Not even two-man.
I know, right? You're like, we ain't doing that. So, and so this is powerful to have a wife that's supportive.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
You guys are definitely the dynamic duo.
Wow.
No, seriously. I've seen a lot of things in life. I've been around, for a bit. And authenticity is what I am attracted to.
Yeah, that's good.
And you guys are definitely authentic, and I just appreciate the ministry. I appreciate your candor. Every time I call you, there's never a time. If I call you, you always call me back.
No doubt.
It always call me back. And I don't know why, because I'm not a member of the church. No. I'm not on the lay leadership. I'm not a leader of the church,
Man. But you brother Marcus. You become my brother Marcus. You know what I'm saying? And if you call and I'm saying, I'm going to give him a call back, see how you're doing, see what's going on, make sure you're good.
Yeah, and that's something that we definitely appreciate. So I support you guys. The other thing is, how can people get in touch with supporting the ministry? Like, I want to know cash apps, like stuff like that. And
sure.
And again, to all of my listeners, I don't do this often. And there's nothing in it for me because we don't play those games here. But this is definitely something you need to support, a ministry that you need to support. I'm watching them. And you guys, when you hear this interview, you're going to enjoy it. You definitely want to support this ministry, because if I'm telling you they're doing it, believe me, they're doing it. Don't worry about them taking trips and travels. They both work, and they use their own funds. And let's people bless
Absolutely.
you. Let's people bless you guys. And there's nothing wrong with blessing, the leaders of the church. So how can people? Two things I want to ask you. How can people support the ministry financially through do you have a cash app for the ministry?
Sure.
I want to have that one. We want to repeat it several times.
Okay. So 2 ways to do it. One, cash app, $ Restoration Station 1, the number 1. Restoration Station 1. That you can go there, $ Restoration Station 1.
Okay.
And send whatever you want, as God blesses you, be a blessing.
Yeah,
and we
tied
really
to the
appreciate
church.
that. Or you can go to our website, www.restorationstation.org. And there's a donate button. There's a connect with us button. You can find out all the things that we're doing. So that you see, as you say, we're big into transparency.
Oh, absolutely.
We want people to know if you're giving to us, here's where it's going.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can see all of the programming and the different things that we do in the community and that sort of thing.
Good. And that's what I want people to know. Now, also, I hope you don't mind me asking this, and I hope you're not offended, but how can people donate to, like, the pastors, either you or Dr. Morgan? How can they, like, cash out you guys?
Wow.
If that's okay. I don't know if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to cash out me, it's $ Dorion Morgan, DORION MORGAN. And if you want to cash out my wife, it's $ Joy V as in Victor Morgan, Joy V Morgan.
Okay.
And there's both obviously $ in front.
Okay.
You can certainly go to my website. My website is dbmgloballlc.com.
Okay. dbmgloballlc.com.
My name is Dorion Blaine Morgan.
Now, why do I call you Dorian? It's Dorian.
It's Dorion.
But everybody calls you
Dorian.
Dorian. So this whole interview, America, I'm out here calling him. You know,
it's all right. Listen, there's two people that call me Dorion, and that's my mom and my sister Lynn.
Oh,
everybody else
calls you Dorian.
Dorian. Most other people call me Dorian. So, you know, I've heard it, I've seen it. But when you call me Dorian, you start to spell it like Dorian with an A instead of an O. But
right.
Yeah, mine is DORION Morgan.
Dorion Morgan. Wow, I got to get that right. We're going to ask for the cash apps again. I'm going to ask a few other questions because I know that you're taking some time out. You just came from a big case, and I know you're moving around. So the other thing two things. What would you say to someone who is trying to do what you've done? Like, you know, if they want to follow their dream, whatever that might be, your dream lawyer, being a gospel inspirational recording artist, and being a pastor. What would you say to them if they're taking on a plethora of things? What would you encourage them to do? What would you say to someone?
First thing I'd say, I mean, obviously, start with prayer. Let God talk to you. You talk to him. Ain't nothing wrong with telling him what you want. That's what old folk you say.
Yeah,
call him up, tell him what you want. Nothing wrong with that. But then listen, hear what he says, and he'll start whispering little things to you. Second thing, I would say get a mentor. Get a mentor. If you want to be in music, find a mentor. Find someone who's doing it or who's in the industry that can give you some insight. If you just want to do it around church, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Find someone who's already doing it there that's good, or either at your church or another. If you want to be an attorney, talk to attorneys because it's not like TV. I mean, there's good parts and bad parts, but there's a whole lot of stuff they don't show you on TV, and there's a whole bunch of stuff about the business that they don't even teach you in law school. So, you know, get a mentor. And that goes for business. If you want to start a business or anything else, why figure out all the mistakes yourself?
Right.
Why don't you go and learn so that you can miss some of the mistakes that someone else has made?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that now you can go further and be more effective. And then, you know, my wife's book, the first chapter is called Think Big. Second chapter is Start Small. Third chapter is Just Do It.
Wow.
So if you want to get a book, her book, Roadmap to Destiny, look that up. It's on Amazon.com. It's on her website, joymorgan.com. Listen, it really helps you get to where you're trying to go with whatever it is you're trying to do. It's a roadmap to your destiny. And it starts, it really, think big.
Think big.
Hey, think big. Come on. Dreaming's free. You might as well do it big. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But then it says start small. Is chapter 2. Do some small thing, some step. Because very often we have big dreams, but if you don't ever take that first step, it'll always just be a dream. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is dreams that are unrealized become nightmares.
Wow.
Because then it's just a bunch of regret that, man, I wish I should have, you know, but then the third chapter is just do it. Now it's time to just Get out there and do something.
Do something.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Again, this is the reason why I had to get you on here.
Man,
because
I love it,
you have a plethora of wisdom. You're well-traveled. You're well-educated. And you come from a good lineage, good family, you know. The other thing is, I want to get back to the cash apps for the church and the cash apps for you.
Sure.
Give me one of your favorite scriptures that's spiritually foundational for you. Now, I know that you study the Word of God. I know you know a lot of scriptures. Mm-hmm. If you gave me two, I wouldn't be mad. But what is one that stands out to you that makes you say, I'm good with this one right here?
Yeah. So really, it's the second part. So most Christians, we grab hold of John 3:16.
Yes.
God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Mm-hmm. Mine is the next one, 3:17.
Oh,
for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. I'm not a condemner. Yeah. And I'm trying to encourage the church, stop condemning people, man. That's not our, if it wasn't Jesus' job to condemn, this certainly is not our job. He said he sent him not to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. We need to start showing the love of Christ instead of just beating them down. You sinning, you bad. Folks know they bad. we ain't got to we know we jacked up, man. You know what I'm saying? But we need to know that somebody loves us in spite of our mess, and someone can help us get out of what we've gotten ourselves into. And that's Jesus for me, man. That's my favorite.
All right, man. I like that. Yeah. Folks, if those of you who are tuning in, we are talking to none other than the lawyer, the pastor, the worship leader. Well, recording artist / worship leader. We're talking to a man of many hats, and, he is Mr. Dorion Morgan. Let's get it right. Dorion Morgan. Now, next time I see him, I got to keep calling him that. Dorion. He might not like that. I might have to just call him Pastor Morgan and leave it at that. At least I got that right. So before we go, is there anything you want to say to anybody? Like any shout outs to anyone?
Man, you always got to shout out, as you said, got to shout out my wife, man. Dr. Joy Morgan. That's my girl. That's my girlfriend, my wife, my partner. She's doing phenomenal things. Check her out. I'm serious. Go to the website, joymorgan.com, and see all the things that God has her doing. Certainly got shout out my mama, man.
Yeah.
Love my mama. I was with her yesterday, man. Yeah. Brought her some gifts back from Ghana. So, had to go see her. But yeah, man, in the Restoration Station family, you know what I'm saying? It's just that's my people.
Man, we so appreciate you. Real quick, we want to be able to get the Cash App for the ministry. What's the Cash App for the church?
The church is $ Restoration Station 1. That's a number 1, not spelling it out. Restoration Station 1.
And also the personal, because I know you don't really. Well, I'm gonna put it this way: it's my show, y'all. So I'm asking him; he's not asking me for nothing.
Wow, appreciate
so, could you give out your Cash App?
Sure. My Cash App is $ Dorion Morgan, DORION Morgan, MORGAN, all one word.
All right. So make sure y'all support the ministry of Restoration Station and Pastor Dorion Morgan. He really has a heart for the people. He has books that are out right now. He's so connected. And not only is he so connected with God and ministry and church, but he's covering the totality of everything that we want to be and we want to become. We want to do better. And even if in the event that you get in trouble or need a little legal advice, contact him. Matter of fact,
Law Office of Dorion B. Morgan, 13 Garden Street, Mount Holly, New Jersey, 609-747-9901.
Let's get that number again.
609-747-9901. Or you can reach me through my website, DorionMorganLaw.com. DorionMorganLaw.com.
So, folks, whether you need to get connected to God, of course, and you want to know Jesus, you go to Restoration Station. You have trouble with the law, you go to Dorion Morgan Law Firm. And if you want some good gospel music and good records, you can also look out for the music of Dorion Morgan. What's the name? What's the name of the?
So my latest CD, it was a while ago now, but I still have the CD that's available. It's on my website, dbmglobal.com. dbmgloballlc.com.
Okay.
Yep. If you go to my website, my books are there. My CD is there. It's available. So as always, we just trying to give you everything we can to make your life better.
And you're doing it. You're doing it from America to all around the world. We appreciate you here on the Elements of Inspiration show. Stay close, everybody. As you know, I say on the radio, don't touch that dial. Well, you know, as I tell you right here on the podcast, don't touch that podcast. More inspirational podcasts coming up on the #1 Element of Inspiration podcast on this side of the globe. It's your brother talking. Stay close. We'll be right back.